This is going to be a redesign challenge using Promptless, and I saw a few posts come across my feed the other day when this site was released. Shout out to Mike at WP, because this is his post that came through. They're doing a lot of great things with Ollie, so shout out to them. But I saw this come across my feed and was thinking this could be an excellent challenge for Promptless. So just don't want to overstep, because I know that Mike has talked with them about a redesign. So this is just a pressure test and just to show the capabilities of Promptless. And as you can see, a lot of time wasn't really invested into this site. This seems like, they just threw this up fairly quickly. And so what I did was do a full agency style audit using Claude Cowork. And so I pulled all the data from this site that they had, and even some information from last year's WordCamp, so that I can kind of fill in the gaps for things like speakers and sponsors. And so what we're going to do, we're going to build this site out end to end, creating all the pages, internal linking, custom post types. And so you're going to see the power of Promptless. And so I'm going to go over here to my demo site. And this is a fresh WordPress install. So as you can see, there are no pages. I go to posts, no pages. The only thing that I prepped here is media. So I've added a few stock photos and some headshots from the speakers from last year to use. And if we go to plugins, you see the only plugins I have are Promptless, Post Runtime Engine, and Form Runtime Engine. Post Runtime Engine is something I'm looking at releasing soon. This works alongside Promptless and allows you to leverage Claude Cowork to generate custom post types. And so this makes sense of your data and structures your content into these post types and adds that proper internal linking. So you're going to see that in action. So let's go to Claude. And I already have the folder mounted. As you can see, this is my folder where I did that audit and pretty much poured in all the information to create the language around these content briefs. And so first I'm going to do is run a pre-flight check. So please run a pre-flight check on my WordPress site. You should be connected using the Promptless connector. And so we're going to let that run just to confirm that it is actually connected to the website. So this has been confirmed. So next what we're going to do is have it actually review the folder. So you should have a folder mounted with the content briefs. Please start with the decision.md file. This ensures you have full understanding of the content within this document. I'm sorry, the content within this folder. So we'll just give it time to review those documents so it can gain understanding, and that way it can start to develop that plan for the site. Okay, so it's reviewed the documents. Ran the content roles. Has info about the custom post types. So great. So it has understanding of this. So next what I'm going to do is say great. Now I want you to create a phased plan to execute the development of this site. You now have access to a WordPress site, you have access to the documents, and now create a phased plan so that you can properly execute each phase instead of trying to complete the entire site in one session. And this is a tip for those that have tried to use these LLMs on larger projects. It's best to kind of break these large projects down into smaller phases. That way the AI doesn't start to drift and make as many mistakes throughout this process. So that's why I try to have it kind of break this into phases incrementally. All right, so it's completed the execution plan. 5 decisions need locking before phase 1. And we can view the plan here. A lot of this is pretty much what I had in the content briefs and documents within my folder. So of course it's just structuring this into phases. So this is why I'm just kind of skimming through this. So I'll just proceed with the recommendations. So please proceed with the recommendations. So now what it's executing right now is just creating the color palette. So it says preset is created. It's applying it now. It says my recommendation path A. So it's telling me to create the reusable elements. We're going to bypass this and just tell it to create the static elements. So what it was referring to, the repeatable elements, we have an area within Promptless where you can create repeatable elements like phone numbers, emails. This is ideal, especially when you have things like this on multiple pages for maintenance. So if ever a phone number or an email needs to be updated, then we have one source of truth to make those changes. But for this demo, just to save time, I'm going to bypass that and just have it add those static things like emails and numbers within the page. And so now it's actually structuring the pages. So it was looking at creating the menu, but of course you need the pages before the menu can be created. So it's going to actually create that sitemap structure. So 22 pages were scaffolded. All 22 pages have been drafted. All right, 22 pages drafted with proper parent-child hierarchy. They're saying we should see the Phoenix color palette. So let's view the front end. And that's the color palette. So let's go back to the dashboard. And we should see the pages drafted. So all the pages have been drafted. And so we'll say proceed. And so now setting up our custom post types. So now all of our custom post types are registered. Speakers, sessions, sponsors. Now these custom post types are created. It says the About page is published. We can at least take a look at this page to see the progress that is made. That's good. Our icons. Overall, this looks great. What I'm going to do is actually go in and adjust just a few things. so what I'm going to do is go to global settings, turn on the smart accessibility colors, just to make sure everything passes accessibility. This grid, 4-column grid, we're going to make this a little more sleek by adding a bordered layout. And I think we'll keep this layout here the same. We use a serif font, so let's change the fonts. Go to global settings, typography, and we'll select this combination. And I think I like the buttons instead of the links here for these repeater elements. So we'll go to global settings, that's under borders, and Claude CTA style, do button, and we adjust the border radius to use a peel shaped, and I'm sorry, that's the icon. Change that back and adjust the border radius of the buttons. And let's add Neo Brutalist. So we'll add Neo Brutalist stylization to the buttons. Yeah, that looks good. And so we'll just save that. Preview that on the front end. That's good. Once Claude finishes, I'll add a few images to the page and a few other accents, like some gradients and a few patterns to give it a little bit of depth. But overall, this looks great. As you can see, we have our menu here, our sub menu items. Even added the menu here in the footer. So we'll go back and check on the progress. This is, of course, just the about page. Okay, so it's done with this phase. Yep, ready to proceed to phase G. Let's just see what was completed here. So we have the about, FAQ, code of conduct, contact page. Okay, cool, cool. So let's say proceed and let that continue to run. And so what I'll do is I'll continue to stylize this page. And that's the great thing about it. We have Claude actually generating these pages. And while it's doing that, I'm just adjusting some global stylizations, as you can see. And so here, this section is a little text heavy. So let's see. In fact, now we'll add a grid pattern to this background just to add some texture. Fade grid center. That looks good. And we'll just leave that as is. We're going to build out the home page more. I'm not going to get into every page because there are way too many pages to kind of stylize and add images to, but a few of them I'll add some images. Look at the FAQ page. FAQ is done. This looks great. Nice. Okay, so the Phoenix area pages are live. So if we go here, should see venue is live. Yep. We have our icons, card info, Wi-Fi info, what to expect. Oh, this is good. Travel and stay. Nice, nice. Things to do. These all look great. Small error there where just didn't have the correct icon, but we can easily fix that. Okay, so we just say proceed. And we'll just clean that icon up later. But this is making great progress. So I think we have pretty much, we have the about, FAQ, code of conduct. Yep. And of course all our Phoenix pages. I'm not a big fan of the 4-column grid system here. This looks a little tight, so let me go in and edit this. And this bordered layout looks more sleek for this 4 grid, so we'll keep that clean. Avenue where to stay. This might be good to add some sort of Phoenix photo. I think I may have some in the media library, so let's just add an image here. Looks like I don't have an image for Phoenix. We'll just use one of these photos here. And we'll add another stock image here. And we'll alternate this to give it some rhythm as the user scrolls down the page. So just switch that to the opposite side. That looks good. Right. So we'll update this page. And we can add things like background, video, or image to these sections as well. Just for time, we're just going to focus on getting the content in all these pages and just demonstrate this internal linking. That's the one thing I love about Claude. It can make sense of all these pages and actually handle all of this internal linking for you. So all this looks good. Yeah, you see how this is linking to the Phoenix venue, Phoenix travel. So all this is already linking to these Phoenix pages. So that's great. Let's go back and check on the progress here. It's like it's still working. Okay, so now we're working on the home page. Okay, let's see what's done. So we have the home page now, we have tickets, and we have news. Page intent set on each home page. Pricing, blog index, drive the schema.org type emission per the platform's page context resolver. Ready for phase. Let's continue. Go. So we'll go to the front end and actually let's check out the home page. Nice. Those 4-column cards look a little too compact, so let's go ahead and change some of these. Change these things here. Bordered. I like the border layout. These work good for these dates. So I'll leave those cards. Oh, that's great. So we have the speakers. So we can add, let me see, I think I have some of these photos. So we have Ann McCarthy, Felix, Tammy. Okay, and Felix. And are those two still selected? Yeah, so with this bulk upload, I can upload multiple photos in the order that they're selected, so these should upload in the correct order. Yep, so we have Ann, Felix, and then we need to add Tammy. All right. And we're going to change this layout. Let's use a hero card. Cool. So that looks good. Of course, we can add some images. I'm going to add a background video on this hero section. And an overlay. Bump that up to about 80. For contrast, and let's see. And we'll go ahead and select our poster image as well. Use this one. Shape of the week, we'll add a photo here. Check on the status of Claude. Still working. All right, so we add that image. Change this highlighted text to use the same font face. Let's update that while I'm thinking about it. There we go. Let's add a gradient to this section. That looks good. For the venue, let's add an image here. I'll use this one. And I may have this transition. Let's actually make this section dark. And yeah, so we'll blend all these. I'm going to add this bottom right gradient. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll add a bottom right gradient here. And a top right here. I'll kind of blend these two sections together. We'll see how that looks. Let's just update this. Check on the status real quick. Okay, we're done. Let's see what was completed. Phase 1 complete, speakers and sponsors. So 7 sections, pre-announce, hero. Let's see. Ann McCarthy, Adam Silverstein. 12 sections. Nice. Okay. Oh, looks like we already have this internal linking to those custom post types for the speakers. Let's see how Claude actually did on these layouts. So we look at the home page. Actually, let's make this section light because I want this hero to blend into this section here. So let's switch this real quick. There we go. That should have updated on the front end. Nice. That looks great. The home page is looking good. I'm in the stats section. Cars look great with the icons. May want to add an image here in this section and possibly some sort of gradient. Overall, this is looking really good. And we can also quickly iterate layouts using the remix feature here. And so if I want to get a few ideas, I can kind of toggle through some different layouts. This looks pretty good. I like this showcase for this section. Oh, this is good. So yeah, we'll stick with this one and simply add a photo. Yeah, it actually works. Okay. Nice, nice. And of course, we can always add these headshots. So I'm gonna, of course, edit this video down because a lot of this is just me waiting on Claude to finish. But right now we're sitting at an hour and 20 minutes. And we have probably most of the top level pages completed. A few pages like the schedule. I think we have all of these other top level sponsors. It's completed. Of course, we can go in and add our images, but the structure is there and the content. So the only thing left is just this, that final cleanup. And of course, like I said, I'll focus on the home page as far as visual design goes, just to demonstrate some of the capabilities. And you've kind of seen what I can do, how I can quickly iterate between different layout variants with these sections. Yeah, so all these are good to go. And responsiveness is already taken care of. I think Claude still needs to build out these pages. And this is another plugin that I plan to release here soon. So this is a form runtime, what I call the form runtime engine. But this allows me to also quickly iterate contact and lead forms. And so I can just tell Claude the type of form that I want to generate, and it has all the tools it needs to generate that. So this is basic contact forms. We can do multi-step forms. And so this speeds up this process drastically. So it looks like it's deploying get involved. It's already created all 6 forms. So we can see those on the back end. So these are our forms. And we just simply embed those with a short code. Yeah, I love just how this internal linking is already taken care of. So notice how it links to the organized page. Of course, it needs to build that page out, but just knowing that that's something that you don't have to take care of. Okay, that's nice. So created this checklist. And also kind of highlighted the call for speakers closes. So that's nice. Now we'll restructure this to a grid because this list is so long. So let's go ahead and modify this. And so we use the remix tool, and basically you also have grid layout for this steps, but I want to use the icon, so this looks good. So we'll go with this grid centered layout. And just update that. Let's see where we are with Claude. Okay, so the news page is done. So we have the post grid here for the news. So once this is ready, or once these posts have been created, then of course they'll populate here. And stay informed. All right, so 7 pages were deployed. Looks like get involved in all the sub pages. And we even have the contact page updated. This linked. Yeah, so we can open this up and nice. And it even added the form here. So this form is working. Only change I would probably make, especially with this being a contact page, definitely have the form higher up on the page, but this is great. So we can easily reposition that. All right, so ready for phase K, go. So we'll let that run. So let's see where we're at. So we have get involved, speak, sponsor, okay, so we have a form here. I would change this to a multi-step form just because this one is so lengthy. Probably break this up into at least 2, maybe 3 steps. So we can easily change that. We'll wait to the end to probably modify that form. This look good. And I can also increase the width of this. And I may actually do that because you have these 4-column grids, just to me visually looks a little tight. So that's what we'll do. We'll play around with the layout. This is at 1200 currently, 1440. Let's go about 1330, 1340. Save that. And preview on the front end. Yeah, that gives it a lot more breathing room. So this looks a lot better with the 4-column grid layout. Yeah, definitely would make this a multi-step form. So we'll adjust that. Okay, so we have the schedule as well. This other long list, so of course I'll change this to a grid for the schedule. Much better. I just add an image while I'm here. see this contributor day. So, do we have a working image? Yeah, we'll. This one looks good. There we go. Okay. So I believe all of these top level pages are completed along with the sub pages. And so in about 2 hours and 20 minutes, we have the entire site completed with content, aside from some images on specific pages. So we have to go in and add images where needed, but aside from that, the content and the structure is there. Have internal linking. For example, we can go to the speakers page. Now the speakers should be properly linked. I'm sorry, this is the speak page, but if you go to the speakers, it goes to that person's profile. Of course, we can add headshots later. All these are working. We go to the sponsors. Sponsors are linking correctly, and even their external links were added. Have our schedule. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button.